Hello, welcome to Stupid Science with J.D. Adler and Lisa Booker. We've selected out some of our favorite episodes of Stupid Criminals and Science News and put them together for this podcast so you can have a laugh and you can learn something, which are two of our favorite things. So here you go. Stupid Criminals, Science News, Stupid Science.
Let's get started with something stupid.
All right. There's no shortage of that.
Excellent. Phew, I always get a little nervous, but they always find a way to...
You know they're going to come through.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be nervous.
Well.
There's always plenty of Florida man. Every once in a while we might have to reach outside the state.
He doth provide.
Usually Florida man and Florida woman manage to provide with our Stupid Criminal segment.
So generous. I should keep the faith.
In fact, this month we're starting off up in Thomas Eugene Colucci of Spring Hill, which is up in Hernando County, Florida.
Mr. Calhoochie.
Mr. Colucci gave a called in. He called in to the sheriff's office on his own.
Okay.
Last Thursday, this past Thursday, because he wanted some help from them. You know, they're there to serve and protect, right? The police department.
Yes, they are.
And he needed some help, some service that only they could properly provide because he had purchased some methamphetamines, and as an experienced drug user, he felt that perhaps he had been sold bath salts instead of methamphetamines, and he felt that maybe they could help him out by testing them to see whether or not his drugs were authentic methamphetamines.
Which thing do I want to start with? The call, the fact that you told them that you had some drugs, the fact that you wanted them to test.
He asked them to test.
Would you do me this favor? I know you serve. Could you service me?
Because he didn't want other people. He was looking out for the community. He didn't want other people buying fake methamphetamines from
I give and I give.
This untrustworthy drug dealer.
You guys, hello 911. You are not gonna believe this bullshit right now.
The real
did
comedy.
They test it?
Yeah, they did test it, and it turns out it was in fact methamphetamines all along. So, good news there. He did not waste his money.
Better safe than sorry, officers. Everyone, let's have a great day. Good job, good job. I'm going to get my car, go home. What? Why is his door locked?
So, of course, the reason...
Give me my meth back.
The reason that he called the police to test it, the reason that he did not trust it
Stupidity?
was because that he didn't feel well. So the police very kindly took him to the hospital.
Oh, that's nice.
And then they arrested him after they got him to the hospital.
Serve and protect. We'll offer you this service, making sure you feel great, and then protect the community from you. Do you want to call us about anything else, sir? Oh, that's a mad inmate. Can you believe this? As a citizen, as a taxpayer, I asked them to do this one tiny thing.
And they turned around and arrested me, and that's just fascism.
These fuckers turned around and threw me in. Yeah.
He's fascist.
They're right over here.
Are you or are you not here to serve and protect? I pay your wages with my taxes.
I'm sure he threw that in. He damn sure threw that in.
The sheriff's office said afterwards that if any person out there does have doubts about the authenticity of any narcotics you have on hand or have obtained, please give them a call. And they'd be happy to provide the same service.
That is so sweet.
For free of charge. Free of charge.
How much does that cost?
Nothing. It's nothing at all.
We live in a great society.
Well, they are going to charge you for the food once you get into jail, though. It turns out.
That is so weird. But not my cot. You charge me for my 3 hots?
But not the cot.
Weird.
So, yeah.
You told me...
And
I brought in all my drugs.
Mr. Colucci was not available for comment.
I feel like some of these are not drugs. They're sweethearts. Oh, Colucci. Do you want to call that guy you bought this meth from? Let him know good news. He can calm down. He did not swindle you.
Maybe he'll have a slander case.
Yeah. He calls. Bad-mouthing me around town.
Can I get a copy of those results so I can, for my slander case?
Exactly. I will put this on my website. I deal drugs what I say they are.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Mr. Colucci, he called them for help. You dumb dummy.
Now, out in Martin County, the Martin County Sheriff's Office had to arrest a woman, Catherine Theodore, age 31. They
had to. You phrased it. They had to.
Had to. After she was pulled over Sunday by deputies who
Sorry, enough, great.
there's no other just to read. There's no other way to say this than just to read the quote. Noticed a stack of empty right guard cans in her car.
The deodorant?
The deodorant. She was pulled over. She was arrested for a DUI because she was huffing right guard.
I'm sorry. That broke me. I'm just insulted as a person on this planet. It just ticked me off for a second.
She later conceded. She confessed that she had 2 drinks earlier in the day and then huffed the right guard.
Because the other option was you were just piling on deodorant while driving. Of course you did. I don't know why that made me mad. We've had people injure themselves and injure their loved ones, and I've never been mad. I don't know why that just
right.
driving.
Right, really? You did what? Last night I'm reading this story and I'm trying to come up with jokes for it.
So
and there's no joke. There's no joke to tell.
It's just so dumb,
It's a terminal joke. It just ends here. There's nowhere to go.
But once you have the classic setup and punchline, Vaudeville has told us anything. You
can't write a joke about
say
this.
goodnight, Gracie.
All you can do is just tell this story, and that's it.
And
that's the end of it. That's the joke.
I commend you because right off the top, I'm an 80s kid, so I'm going to phrase it like this. Right off jump, you said they had to.
They had to arrest this woman.
What's that first name again? That might be my new word for dumb. Because sometimes, I change up the word for dumb. And I'm like, oh, that was real Kathy right there. That was real right guard. What just happened? Oh, no. That was amazing. Don't speak her name. There are too many people who we need to speak their name. We're not speaking her name.
Oh, no, it's too late now.
It's just right guard.
That was Kathy. That was Catherine Theodore. Next
time I just stumble and trip over something, I'm like, oh, that was real right guard right there. Not looking where I was going. I said
there's a pile of them, a pile of right guard cans. She was just hopping. Why right guard? How did right guard become the thing? Well, one day she discovered,
She's about to save some marketing person's job, though, because they're like, I had run out of ways to sell deodorant. But thanks to this chick, we won't say it in the commercial, but we'll just have in the ad or in your car. And then just cans fall out as you open the door to get out. Oh, you dumb bitch. Oh, Lord. I need some water. Water break. Oh.
Huffing.
Oh, God bless you.
Huffing.
2022.
And what else we got going on here? So up in St. Petersburg, your hometown.
Oh, I gotta love it. This is gonna be good.
A 40-year-old Florida woman faces battery charges after she shot her neighbor with a squirt gun Saturday.
With a squirt gun. That's Tampa Bay for you. Because shot her neighbor that's America. But with a squirt gun, that's a tackiness that only Tampa Bay can bring to the party.
According to the article, Renee Bolduc of St. Petersburg was inside her home. Okay. Somebody walks by on the street. The victim walks by on the street. And Renee just comes busting outside with a squirt gun and starts firing in her face.
Like the All West.
She was just out on the street. She wasn't on her property. She wasn't communicating with her. She just busted outside and started shooting the...
I don't want no trouble in my place. Bang, bang, bang. Squirt, squirt, squirt. That is a pew, pew.
40 years old.
Grown woman.
Grown woman shooting random
strangers. A little too young to have been in high school with me, but I'm sure I know the bullets. I have to.
According
There's 10 of us in St. Pete, and we're all crazy.
According to the police report, Bulldog sprayed the victim because she was upset that the woman was walking on, quote, her street.
That's justified. If she gets the right cop in St. Pete, she's going to walk. She's going to go home.
Can't come onto my street.
That bitch was doing what? How dare she? You know what? We're going to hold her. How dare she walk on your street, girl?
Imagine that. You're just walking down the street and all of a sudden some crazy woman just busts at you.
Here's your squirt gun back. We refilled it with water. Lord of mercy.
Just
squirt
fires
gun.
You up. At least it was a squirt gun, I guess.
Yeah. Because any other day.
Yeah, right.
She went back and got her piece. Her Glock. Her wet Glock.
And we're We're gonna.
But now you know, don't walk on that lady's street, and then next time it's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, if it happens the second time, that's your own fault. Squirt me once. So our final story for this segment
Yes.
brings us to Naples, Florida.
Beautiful. It's beautiful in Naples.
Not from Mr. Gauss.
Oh, dear.
James Gauss, age 34.
Mm.
I don't know how.
What'd you do, James?
The article does not specify whether or not he was intoxicated, but I gotta believe that this man was extremely intoxicated because
It didn't have to. Say
he got trapped inside a porta potty to the point where police had to dislodge him. Apparently his feet got trapped somehow in the door. This isn't really a stupid criminal story. It's just a stupid story, just a Florida man story.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a crime to not be able to get out of a porta potty.
I forgot about the end of the story here. Here's where the criminal part comes in. When they later searched the porta potty after they removed him from it,
Helped him get out of a porta potty.
yes, they found fentanyl, a bag of fentanyl, inside the porta potty with him. So he also managed to leave his fentanyl behind after being trapped in there for hours.
Yeah, and we're going to label this fentanyl evidence as reasons. Come on, buddy.
A passerby had heard him inside banging and screaming for help.
To get out of a plastic porta potty.
The guy didn't help him. He called the police because obviously there's something wrong here.
Smartest man in Tampa Bay. I'm not doing anything.
You're inside a rectangle. Just slide the
911.
bolt.
There's 911. Someone needs help that I refuse to give them. Get on this. And after they help dislodge him, there's my drug.
He somehow got his foot jammed and couldn't get it out. He got stuck in the porta potty.
Oh, Naples. Oh, lovely.
Oh, my God.
Such a hard day.
Florida man never disappoints.
Criminally stupid.
Yep. So that's our stupid criminal segment for this month.
Bless their hearts.
We're gonna take a little musical break, and when we come back, we got some good science news for you.
Science. I love you, stupid criminals.
And now it's time for your musical interlude. Zippity bop, zippity boo, bibbity bobbity boobity zippity ba, zappity boo, zippity boo, yeah, jazz hands.
Welcome back. It is JD and Lisa. It is Stupid Science, and I am very excited for science.
Science.
We live on a planet where at the same time people are doing the most stupid things. I'm looking at you, right guard. And other people are doing the smartest things.
Smartest possible. Then we start off with paleontology.
Bones.
We're an international team of paleanthropologists.
I was about to say, do they give donations to paleontologists?
Paleanthropologists have anthropologists. It sounds like they're apologizing for being paleo.
Tens of $1,000s in debt in school.
Right.
To dig bones.
Paleoanthropologists have discovered a partial skull and teeth from an immature individual of Homo naledi, a recently discovered species of extinct hominid. So this is yet another species.
Adding pieces to that puzzle.
Which got me thinking, Isaiah. So they just discovered this this new species recently, and it was discovered in 2013 in a remote cave chamber of the Rising Star Cave System. This is where it was first discovered, Homo naledi.
I don't know what
Naledi. It's located outside of Johannesburg in South Africa.
Thank you.
And it's in the Cradle of Humankind World Heritage Site. Wow, that's quite
They
a
wanted to
name.
be real specific when
That's
they named it.
That's a real dramatic name.
Why do
there.
you need this money? They tried to say anthropologists as in the title of the site, and none of that worked. No one knew what the money was for.
Right.
This is what the site is.
It's the Cradle of Humankind.
Oh.
Apparently, this species survived about 335,000 to 226,000 years ago in continental Africa at the same
Pretty
time.
recent. Mm-hmm.
At the same time as our early ancestors of Homo sapiens.
I thought they may have predated, but that was
Yeah, which is apparently
why it's such a discovery.
Altering to the record of what we thought was still around at that time. This is it. This is both a new branch that had previously undiscovered, but also that existed later in the timeline than we thought any other branches existed. So they found some more remains. This time, a child, which is what makes it interesting. But so reading all about this got me, curious how many other branches of Homo sapien, or not Homo sapien, but of hominid. And so there's a couple different sites, and depending on who's researching how recently the website has been put together, there's different numbers. But I went to the Natural History Museum. That seemed like a reliable source for this sort of information.
They love bones there. They love them.
So, and they've got 22 other species of hominid besides ourselves.
Oh, that's fascinating. I always in my head thought it was like a dozen. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that it is not a straight line. It's always more branches.
It's more like a tree than it is a line. Yeah. About 2 to 3 million years ago is when there was the greatest variety of hominids. There was
living their best life.
Homo rudolfensis, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Homo naledi, Australopithecus sediba, Paranthropus robustus.
That's a strain of weed.
Paranthropus boisei, Australopithecus gardneri, Paranthropus aethopicus. I probably said that wrong. I probably said a bunch of these wrong. Australopithecus
and we are going to get emails from those groups. Get it right. Respect us. We are here.
All of these around at the same time. And then there's more that were not around, that were either before or after or later, until eventually only Homo sapiens remained.
That's right. Dumb, brutal Homo sapiens. We were not the smartest. We were not the most clever, but we'll beat you down till we take your stuff.
But anyway. So, I don't know, I just found it fascinating. There was all these different species of...
Yeah, gun to my head, I really would have thought there was for some reason, only thought of 12. But then again, I probably heard that number 12 when I was in elementary school in the 80s.
Yeah, when that was the number.
Yeah.
But, so all these different species of creatures that are primates, that don't dwell in trees, that have opposable thumbs and no fur, and walk erect. And
start questioning things and use tools.
Yeah,
that's all we are. Question things and use tools.
So that's fascinating.
And find torture kind of cool. I think that's the opposable thumbs
and like hurting
tools
things.
And
in other evolutionary news, they are about to reintroduce an extinct species into the world. It looks like.
Which one?
It is called a Tasmanian tiger, which is an interesting looking. It is a marsupial.
I thought those things had died. They have a big weird head.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is the whole story.
Yeah. It's also known as a marsupial wolf. They have stripes on their lower back.
Right.
And they have they're kind of coyote dog like looking.
Yeah, real scruffy.
With stripes, but they also have a marsupial pouch, and they have a marsupial pouch on both the men and the women. Which is kind of weird. It's kind of like, why do mammals who are male have nipples? Why do marsupials who are male have a pouch? I don't know.
This is what you bring back? I was hoping it'd be like a butterfly.
It is not.
Okay, well, and this will not be an invasive species on their tiny little island?
No. They'll be restoring it. It was, the last one died in 1936. And it used to live in Tasmania and some of the surrounding islands. There were some as well. It was officially declared extinct in 1982, but the last one they knew of died in 1936.
Okay.
And now they're trying to, I guess, grow a new one.
Okay.
They just got a $5 million philanthropic gift, and it will be used to establish the Thylacine Integrated Genetic Restoration Research, or TIGER Lab.
Right.
Yeah. And they will...
That's something that, if that was in a Marvel movie... I would have not be able to pay attention to the rest of the scene because I'd be picking apart that name. I'd be like, man, I missed everything Cap just said, because that motherfucker looked at him and said so proudly the acronym that led to Tiger.
Right.
Okay. Great.
They're going to develop technologies that could achieve de-extinction. That's the term they've come up with, de-extinction of the... I
like better. You uninstincted. Extinctioned it.
Or, gave it life.
Mm-hmm. Brought it back. Reintroduced. No, that's just me being a pessimist. Just if it gets to a point where they're enough to release, will this tiger type animal be an invasive species? Oh man, now it hunts so well and it's actually depleting others. But that's Tasmania. Whatever. We'll see. It'll give us something to talk about in 10 years when we're like, maybe we should not have. After we brought a few back, maybe we should not have let them just roam because they are acting like tigers. And now they're only,
It's a carnivorous marsupial.
Mm-hmm, yeah, just let those roam free.
Maybe they went extinct for a reason. I don't know. Anyway, they're gonna
that's cool.
Go ahead and play around with nature, and now people will be able to just make things. If somebody want to bring back a woolly mammoth,
we gotta give them enough fodder to keep making the Jurassic Park movies. So There's that.
There is that.
Mm-hmm. Mammoths seem cool. Ooh,
they do,
and delicious.
There is a lot of meat on a mammoth.
Slow moving.
Although you don't know how much of that is just hair.
We'll see.
But I don't think we should. I think that's a bad idea. But whatever. Who cares what I say?
Man moths.
Meanwhile, NASA. Believes they have found a way to turn down heat in cities. So generally, cities are heat islands, right? Any city is hotter than the surrounding area that's not city. Mm-hmm. For example, if you go into a desert city like Phoenix or Las Vegas, at night it's going to be very hot, but out in the desert at night or surrounding desert, it'll be very cold. Mm-hmm. And that's just an extreme example of what happens in every city. Because of the asphalt and the concrete, et cetera, plus all the electricity running and the et cetera, et cetera. Everybody understands why. Mm-hmm. So people have talked for years about green roofs, being good for the environment.
Waiting for it to be mandatory, or at least a certain percentage of roofs to be mandatory. That'd be great.
So they decided to run a study. The NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies in New York decided to run a study to determine if this is in fact helpful.
Yep.
Having green roofs.
Once again, some really good info coming out of Goddard.
And so they did it in Millennium Park, City Hall, and a Walmart shopping center. Now they used data that they had from before they built the green roof versus after the green roof in those locations, plus versus the surrounding areas as well. Mm-hmm. So two different ways of comparing. Now the Walmart shopping center was a little different because prior to the study, there was no Walmart there. And then they built the Walmart with the green roof as part of it. Whereas the other two places,
they had
they
historical data of
without it,
with the building.
And then they added green roof on. And basically there's varying studies or results from each site are slightly different, but basically in the end what it shows is that it helps some.
Okay.
Yeah.
It helps some on a planet where icebergs are crumbling.
Right.
It helps some.
It helps some.
On a planet where we are making it hotter by living here and our choices. It helps some.
Right.
And it's nice and it's pretty.
And so you could, if you extrapolate that to if you did do it across an entire city, or even a majority of a city, it would have a significant decrease in the total heat of that city.
So how many decades are we going to live with this data before it gets interacts? Mm-hmm.
I imagine nothing's going to happen from it, but I just thought it'd be nice for you to know
about
another thing that could be done that we're not doing.
What does Lisa love? Lisa loves data points.
Yes.
Yeah, here's one more thing that ain't nobody doing nothing.
Meanwhile, thing that the government is doing, the White House held a summit the other day on fusion, which could become a major carbon-free energy source someday and much safer than fission for nuclear power. By essentially smashing atoms together rather than splitting them in half. That's the short version. Now, this is
nuclear power for babies.
Right. We've been working on this, and we've talked about this on the show for many times before. Fusion, people have been working on it for decades, making promises all the time. There have been some advances recently in the component parts,
right?
But without actually getting to the final step yet. But we are right. But there's a
plan, actionable
steps up the ladder have been made. The Biden administration see fusion as an important tool to get rid of greenhouse gas emissions, and they are now going to coordinate all of its fusion energy research to advance the technology for possible deployment by the end of the decade, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said.
What? Please repeat that to me.
$1.5 trillion appropriations bill from Congress includes $45 million for a new fusion program in which private companies will partner with the Department of Energy to build new fusion energy devices. Part of a record investment in fusion that will send more than $700 million to the Department of Energy's Fusion Energy Sciences program.
That is exciting.
It is. That's a big deal. She did tamp down expectations for when it will be deployed.
Do they need graphic designers?
She said, "We've got to manage expectations. There's a reason. There's a reason why fusion is hard." This is a direct quote from her. There's a reason why fusion is hard, so it's going to take time.
Yep.
Even as we are making amazing progress, we have to be careful about overpromising, and we'll have to be realistic.
I love it. Added to the list of things that seem nearly impossible until the smartest humans on the planet get their heads around it, work together, and get funding.
On that very point, this article, which is, by the way, in Scientific American, is where I'm reading this from, goes ahead and lists some of the advances that were made just in the last year. A Chinese project achieved fusion reactions for 17 minutes at 126 million degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the sun, according to the White House. DOA's Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory.
Now we just need to perfect.
Achieved a burning plasma reaction, which demonstrated for the first time in any research facility a fusion reaction in which more energy was generated from the process than was required to initiate it. This can be seen in an article, Energy Wire, in the magazine Energy Wire, January 27th. A European effort achieved a 5-second high-power pulse, which broke a 24-year-old record by doubling it. Although all 3 of those things happened just this year.
Yeah. Independently of each other. So let alone when collaborations are funded and encouraged.
Yeah, the White House event framed fusion energy as a complementary energy source to renewable sources on the energy grid of the future. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. That means that they have achieved. It sounds like people have gotten past that very first hurdle of proving that it is a doable thing, and now have to make it an efficient.
Decision makers that have been put in place are looking at and actively talking about funding.
The science has been done. They've done the thing that makes it happen.
Yeah.
They can make it happen. Now they just have to make it happen efficiently.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice positive note.
That is really nice, yeah.
And that's why we do this, right?
Yeah,
we laugh a little, learn a little, and escape from reality a little. Here on Stupid Science.
I love it. I love all 3 of those.
With JD and Lisa. I'm JD.
And I'm Lisa.
And I'll see you next month.
Uh-huh.